Hi guys, so in this video we do some dyno testing and look at power figures from a previously modified 3.5 V8 Rover engine, now turned into a 3.9. Right guys, so just to recap, before we hit the dyno, what kind of spec is the engine now? Well, it's basically the same as it was before. It's now a 3.9. I did actually make a change, and that's because we've kind of, the goal has shifted, and now we've made it bigger. The goal has shifted slightly more towards making torque than horsepower, because we will easily blow the horsepower goal. So I've actually made a change. We've now put different cylinder heads on it. And what I've done, I've prepared a fresh set of 10 bolt 3.9 heads, and they are pretty much standard, with the exception I've done a little bit of blending work on the short turns. That is all, just ease off the short turns. And what that should do, that should pick up airflow through the head at the lower valve lifts and sacrifice a little higher valve lifts. In practice, what that would tend to do, that would tend to make the engine a bit more snappy and responsive, unlike part throttle, and we'll probably lose a few horsepower at the top. But we've got plenty of top end power anyway, so there we go. Is the change significant? No, it will probably just rock the power torque curve slightly more in favour of a bit more lower in torque at the expense of a few horsepower at the top end, but in reality I don't think it's making a big difference. So I guess what we should do now is talk about what could the numbers be. Right, here we go. If we want to mathematically look at the way the engine makes its power, what we can do is take the power it had before, divide it by the engine capacity and multiply it by the new engine capacity. Now, it's not strictly correct, because a 3.5 is actually slightly bigger than 3.5, and a 3.9 is actually even more slightly bigger than 3.9, but the maths are close. So yeah, 201 horsepower divided by 3.5 times 3.9 is 223 horsepower. And if we take the torque, 222 pound-foot, we do the same maths, that's 247. There's another way we could look at it, because we've made the engine basically 15% bigger. So if we put 15% on 201 horsepower, we've got 231. 15% on the torque, 255. So we'd expect we'll be somewhere in the range, somewhere between low 220s and the low 230 horsepower, and somewhere between knocking the door of 250 pound-foot torque and 255. In reality, I think what will happen is it will probably favour torque more than horsepower, and because there is a variable I haven't mentioned here, in that with our 4-barrel carburetor, although we've got mechanical secondaries, so full throttle is full throttle, the butterflies are wide open, the secondaries have a door in them, a flap, which is attached to a weight and controlled by airflow. So the airflow demands on the carburetor will actually open the metering flap in the secondaries more. So we might find we've got a bigger difference because of volume of airflow and vacuum in the engine than the numbers suggest. There's only one way to find out. Let's hit the dyno. Right guys, so here we are. This is it. This is we basically hit our peaks pretty much first go. So yeah, ran it up, couple of pulls, little tweaked ignition timing. We're on the same jetting, so there's the torque of our 3.9. and there's the horsepower, and we peaked at 258 pound-foot and 228 horsepower. There in yellow is the torque of the 3.5, and there's the horsepower of the 3.5. So it's like train tracks. It's just up everywhere. So yeah, that's a really good result. The only couple of things to note here is that clearly the 4-barrel Edelbrock carb is happier on the 3.9 it was on the 3.5, because on the 3.5 it had a lean spot there that I struggled to get rid of, whereas on the same jetting it's richer all the way through, but we got a flatter air fuel ratio. And I mean, this run here was air filter and everything attached. This run here is no filtration. On the 3.5 the air filter made no difference. So I'm going to run it up again, but what I'm first going to do, I'm going to stick a spacer under the carburetor. Now the thing with a spacer is that this engine starts brilliantly on the dyno, but it's always been reluctant in the car when the car's hot, and we think it's suffering from a lot of heat transfer up through the manifold into the carb. So we've stuck a 1/2-inch spacer on there to get the carb to run a bit cooler. Will it affect the power? Not much, I don't think, but because the manifold's quite low level and there's a fairly abrupt transition between the base of the carb and the port, we might find the spacer changes power. I don't think it had much difference to that, but hey, if you don't try, you don't know. So next up, let's see what it did when I stuck a spacer under it. So, spacer, well, green is with the red spacer, red without. Practically no difference. Fraction up there, down a bit there, bit wobbly there. So in terms of overall power, there's no real difference. We've got a fraction more torque, we've dropped a fraction of power. The air fuel trace though shows a difference. With the spacer in there, the engine has gone much richer, and noticeably richer low down. Too rich, to be honest. So next up, I'm going to put a smaller main in the primary to try and bring the air fuel ratio back somewhere where it's better. Right, and if by magic we've now got a blue line, which I've put a smaller main in the primary, which is picked up as a fraction of torque there, fraction of horsepower. We're still down a little bit on no space, just at that point there, 4,500 RPM, but it is what it is. It's very little change. But when we look at the air fuel ratio line, we're in a much happier spot. We're like, that's what, 12 6s, 12 7s. So nice. Again, this is full throttle. At part throttle, you'd run a leaner mixture, but it's quite happy at part throttle. So yeah, I'm happy with that. All this testing so far has been done, no air filter on, and as a 3.5 the air filter made no difference, but I might as well put the breather pipes and the air filter on. But you've seen from this so far, we're running it. I've run it with no breather assembly on there, so we've got zero blow-by coming out of the breather, so the rings have bedded themselves really well. And arguably, on the fresh bores, with the fresh pistons, the engine's sealed up better than it did as a 3.5, which might somewhat explain why we're seeing perhaps numbers a little bigger than we might have expected. Right guys, here we are. Here's the final numbers. And there's brake horsepower. There's the 3.5. There's the 3.9. And 3.9 went on to do a best of 227.7 brake horsepower. And torque, we saw with the air filter on 260 pound-foot torque. Now, no air filter, we actually saw a fraction more. I think I saw a best of 262. But so the air filter had marginal effect, which is good. If we look at the end of the power run here, it's a bit choppy, a little bit wavy, and that's because our torque curve's quite flat. So we're using a water brake. So to allow the engine to accelerate, there's a servo that opens to allow water out to allow the engine to accelerate. So the dyno, there's fixed RPM limits at which it can comfortably operate, which will partly depend on the torque curve, and it will depend on the absorber setting. If I were to adjust the absorber, we'd probably have to start the power run at higher RPM, but then it would comfortably rev out more smoother. So we may have seen 1 or 2 more horsepower, but I doubt it. I doubt it. And yeah, we would have probably seen a smoother curve, because right there at the end, with the servo being almost but not quite full open, it's struggling a little bit to control it. But the end of the day is, what's the difference between 3.5 and 3.9, and it's a big wedge. The gap does narrow a little bit as the RPM goes up, but that's, you know, you'd kind of expect that. But it responded well, perhaps better than it might have done, and that's probably one or two things. Either the fact that the 3.9 are new liners, new pistons, new rings, whereas the 3.5 was just hone bores, new rings. So I think the 3.9, the cylinder's sealed up better, so there's probably a few pound-foot torque gain there. And I think the other thing is probably, and I said at the beginning, the carburetor. With the air flap valve thing in it, I suspect that the carburetor just much better suits the 3.9 than it did 3.5. But yeah, all that lovely torque. And you know, the thing that the owner's really going to notice is, yeah, as 3.5 it made 200 horsepower, but it didn't do that till about 5,300 RPM. Now we've got 200 horsepower at about 4,000 RPM. So yeah, we've moved. Well, we haven't moved the peak power down the RPM range of 1,000, because actually the power curve is very similar. It's just that we've got everywhere we've got more torque. So should be well happy with that. And if he's not, we're gonna have to build him a 4.6, and that will make some torque. On that bombshell, you know what to do, guys. Like, share, subscribe, ring bell, and I'll catch you on the flip side.